Hello and welcome to round 2 of the CSR BTCC Championship for a very special edition of This Month in Motorsport. I am joined in the virtual commentary box by Shaun Smith and I am Sam Green.
How's it going, Sam?
Hello. So am I. On pole, Shaun Smith, Taylor not alongside him, cars are ready to go. And there's the green, good start for Shaun, not so good for Taylor alongside him. Bit of a bump, Alistair Walker giving Sam Green a bump up the straight. Into turn 1 as Shaun Smith takes the lead, second place. Sam Green, behind him is Max De Bruyne in the second Audi.
Going a bit wide there, Shaun, at the turn 2.
Not the best line, but he's got a bit of a lead now. Taylor Norton down in 4th.
The field bunching up behind him. See Alistair Walker there in the BMW, the only rear-wheel drive car in the race.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Audi's going side by side into the hairpin.
Oh, it is wide. A bit of a lock-up from Green. Spun him around.
Shaun an advantage there.
Shaun, yeah, driving away now, building a lead on the opening stages of this race. We're following the 2 Audis, who are now joined by Gary Broadbent in the leading Alpha. Alistair Walker just behind him. As we go into the top section of the circuit now. De Bruyne runs wide. Green goes through, Walker goes through.
Oh, Stelvio Automotive 1, 2, 3 here right now.
Certainly is. Gary Broadbent in 4th and Jack Wilkins down in 5th.
Strong move
a little bit of door-to-door there.
Rubbings Racing Sands, BTCC.
Certainly is. Into the hairpin for the first time, the tightest corner in British motorsport. Gary Marnick's going up the inside of Sam Green, losing positions left, right and centre here. Jack Wilkins now lining him up. He goes to the right hand side as they come down the straight into turn 1.
I think the first time. I think there's a 6-second lead there for Shaun Smith over Alistair Walker.
Big gap. Jack Wilkins unable to make a move through those first few corners, but I think he's going to have a look as they come up the next straight. The Ford slightly quicker on the straights than the Audi. And a very experienced driver of front-wheel drive touring cars is Jack Wilkins.
Oh, he's gone a bit wide there, Sam Green. He's just looking to the... No, nothing to line up here. Very fast corner here through Sam. It's very difficult to make a move.
It certainly is. You're flat out for this whole section right up until the double apex long hairpin they're coming into now. And it's down to 3rd gear, bit wide for Green, and Wilkins goes through. Easy move for him there.
I think Sam's obviously having a bit of trouble there with his braking position into that corner. He's made 2 mistakes in a row. Yeah,
it's rear locking plaguing a lot of the grid, especially at this circuit.
They come into the tight section again. It's bunching up again behind Sam, so we could see some moves going into the hairpin.
A little bit of oversteer, yeah, a bit of oversteer.
6.2, 6.3 second gap now to the front. Fastest lap, Shaun Smith.
More or less single file as they come through the first section. You can see the lights flashing on Sam Green's car. Now, I'm reliably informed that when those lights are flashing, he's talking on the radio.
Good little bit of an engineering fault there.
Yes, not the best. Bit of a giveaway, but you never know. Might put some people off ahead of him. Oh, he goes deep. Green deep into that turn 4.
Not too bad there, though. You can go wide there, Sam, and get away with it. Carry the speed round.
There is an alternate line, isn't there? It's not necessarily quite as fast, but it's not too bad. We're swapping now a couple of cars back. That is the car of Max De Bruyne, who races in the Dutch MX-5 Cup. Very, very quick driver. And he's going to be making his way through the field, a very, very quick guy.
A bit of a question here of whether the Audis can work together or not, or if it is just everyone for themselves in this second race.
I think it probably will be, and this is obviously race 2. And Max De Bruyne, I think he won race 1 from memory. Started on the reverse grid right at the back, so he's made his way through quite well already.
Meanwhile, at the front, Assetto Corsa beginning to close the gap now to Shaun Smith. Obviously, the Toyota driver not as fast on outright pace as some of the other cars. We're wondering if he'll be conserving his energy for later in the race.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit of tyre management race for Shaun Smith. Try and save some grip for later on. There's no pit stop in this race, of course, and the tyres do go off. It's just about half of their life, the 20-minute race. They could probably do another 10, 15 fairly easily, but you do feel the difference as we go through.
Audi's still line astern as they come through the fast section of the track now.
Mike Hurd joining the back of them in the Alpha as well. He's going to be looking to make his way through. He's again a good fast driver, making his way through the field now after starting towards the back because of a good result in race 1. The yellow Ford Focus behind as well as Taylor Norton. It's his sim racing debut, so maybe not the debut he was hoping for. Bit of oversteer there for Sam Green through that first hairpin. But
locking across throughout the field. Oh, here we go.
Oh, Verstappen up the inside. The nickname Verstappen, showing why we call him that. A good move up the inside of the hairpin to get past Chris Everett, and Mike Hurd's looking to get past him as well now into turn 1. Chris just backs out of that, I think.
Done it. That was good. Good move.
Nicely done from Mike, and I think Chris, just thinking better of it, didn't want to get the damage or the penalty that could result in pushing on there.
Right here, trying to line up green. I wonder if it's going to be into the hairpin. Lined him up nicely.
Oh, green gives him space.
Very locking there.
Keeps the position though.
Yeah, definitely. At the front, meanwhile, it's still Assetto Corsa chasing down Shaun Smith at about half a second a lap last time round.
Jack Wilkins closing the gaps as well. Trying to join that. Oh, green goes wide.
Oh,
Green is off.
I think that might be the end of his race here. That's a long way back now.
Lost, what, 4 places there just by one mistake. A little bit of rear locking and it's just cost him. Out onto the grass.
And Roy's got a lot of ground to make up now. Here we go. Back to Assetto Corsa at the front. He's clearly making up time on Shaun Smith.
Yeah, it's a very quick car, the BM, when you've got it set up right, and Alistair definitely has. So he obviously can now see Shaun Smith, and if you can see him, you can catch him.
Passing is always a different matter to catching up, though.
Absolutely, especially around Croft. There's not a lot of overtaking opportunities.
We heard from Assetto Corsa in the week that he's been doing a lot of setup work on the BMWs just to get it right, because he's had a lot of trouble with the rear-wheel drive car, spinning round on power, and locking up on braking. So he's done well to get second place.
Absolutely. Using all the circuit there as he comes through. Little lift, but I think pretty good, making the most of the circuit. The track limits here at Croft are ferocious. You have to be so careful, and I think that's one of the things Alistair's trying to play with as well, of where can he get away with just running slightly over the curb to open the corner up a bit more. Definitely closing the gap to Shaun Smith now though.
I do wonder if Shaun is going to be just thinking long game here. There's still another 10 minutes or so to go in the race. Oh, locking up slightly. Is he alright? No, he's held it. He's held
Smith's
it.
fine. Smith's all good.
Assetto Corsa definitely catching up at a rapid
very
pace.
wide from Smith there.
He seems to be doing that. It seems to be a way of sort of keeping the speed through the corner, but
minimising the understeer, I suppose.
Into the chicane, which of course it will do from a front-wheel drive car.
Yes, so one of the things, especially as we get through the race, is as the front tyres wear down, they will end up understeering more and more.
Top 4 now separated by only a couple of seconds. It's going to get a bit tasty towards the end. Toyota, BMW, Ford, Alfa Romeo, as fast as that. Of course, Alistair Walker used to race in the stock cars, but a bit of dirt ovals.
Flashing his lights now as they come towards the 2 hairpins. Yeah, Alistair comes from a stock car background. Now does 1/10 scale touring cars, so
Yeah,
these are a bit bigger than he's used to.
Big lock up there from Smith.
Fairly standard there though for the inside rear to just lock up slightly under braking.
Walker flashing his headlights a lot, trying to put him off.
Doesn't seem to be working at the moment though.
The Avensis seems to carry a lot of corner speed into that turn 1, but then going out wide, not
Oh,
as
a bit
much
of
this time.
oversteer.
Oh, did well to catch that in a rear-wheel drive car.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said earlier, the only rear-wheel drive car on the grid, so definitely an interesting one, an interesting idea. And when we were talking to Alistair about that decision, he said obviously he's a lot more used to the way that the rear-wheel drive cars handle, not only from touring cars, he does a lot of GT racing as well, and he just found the transition back to front-wheel drive, like he would have to adjust his driving style a lot more. So he's gone with the BM to just make it as familiar as he can. Weirdly enough, the exact opposite of Jack Wilkins behind him in the orange and white Ford, who said he's a lot more used to the front-wheel drive touring cars. So he went with the one he just felt the most comfortable with. There's a lot more choice, obviously, with the front-wheel drives. Oh, and a big lock-up from both Alistair and Shaun there.
Top 3 separated by about a second now as they come out the final corner and cross the line.
Gary Walker behind in 4th, just losing touch slightly of this lead.
You can see the rest of the field though, Sam, beginning to close in.
Very close, very close. Jack Wilkins potentially looking at a move here. If he can get a good run out of the chicane, he might be able to move on Alistair into the next corner.
Oh, there's De Bruyne, I think it is, in 5th place.
Yeah, definitely. He's closing that gap down to Gary now as well. So far, pretty clean race considering it's touring car.
Sam in the back. The Audi going round the Alpha. And
it's a good move.
Good move.
De Bruyne showing his skills.
Meanwhile, Al goes a tad wide.
Wilkins still all over that rear bumper up now in 3rd.
Al defending his line there a little bit as into the slower part of the track.
Oh, a little bit of oversteer. Bit of oversteer, lift offer from Shaun. He goes defensive into the hairpin. Oh, there's contact. Contact between Walker and Smith.
That's going to close the field up even more behind them.
If anything, has given Smith the slight advantage. Wilkins fully alongside into turn 1, but he's on the outside. That's not going to be a move he can pull off.
Not easily.
Single file through the chicane, realistically. We'll see what he can do as he moves up into the top half of the circuit. De Bruyne closing the gap now. He's absolutely on fire. This is a 4-way battle now for the lead.
Only a few laps to go now.
Oh, a bit of a wiggle. Alistair with a bit of a wiggle.
Can't be many moves remaining for the top guys to make their mark.
Absolutely not. And like we said, Croft, so difficult to overtake. If the car ahead of you is hitting his apexes and is reasonably on pace, there's virtually no way you can actually pass.
Walker just can't shake off the cars behind him, which is definitely putting more emphasis on his defensive driving rather than going for the front.
Yeah, having to keep an eye on his mirrors as well as Chaz Smith, and that we will see that as well, all over that rear bumper now.
Drag race line, that BM is quick in a straight line.
It is. Perhaps slightly quicker than the Ford, but with the slipstream it's going to be negligible.
wide again from Smith. Seems to be his line though.
Yeah, it seems to be using that each lap, so I don't think it's running wide as such as that is his racing line.
A little over a second there between the top four. It's still very close.
De Bruyne just having a look around the outside of Wilkins there, but I don't think that's going to work this time. Not long to go now. Can Alistair make the move?
That's definitely the question. Is Shaun going defensive?
He certainly is. Oh, his contact!
Around goes the BMW.
Walker on the grass on the inside. And he loses out to Gary Broadbent, and he's going to lose out to Mike Hurd as well.
Here on the radio there, Al was not happy with his feeling in his leg. He couldn't feel the brake pedal.
Yeah, not a good feeling through the brake. But now, remarkably, in all of that, Max de Bruyne has managed to get past Jack Wilkins as well and into second place.
Different challenge now for Shaun. He hasn't raced de Bruyne yet. It's going to be interesting into the hairpin. Can he make the move early?
Going defensive. Oh, and he goes deep. Max goes deep.
Can they get the over under? Shaun again just holding the inside line. For this fast section, very hard to make the move unless you make a mistake through here.
Very much so. De Bruyne all over that rear bumper though. Right on his gearbox. Or it would be.
Well, in a race, in a single seater, yeah.
Yeah. Into the hairpins. Wilkins very much with him as well now.
His tyres must be going off slightly.
Covering the inside well though. Wilkins around the outside. Surely not.
It's going to be a drag race now through the straight. I don't know. The Audi seems quick.
Very similar, aren't they? I think Max had a slightly better drive out the corner and he retakes second into turn one.
Wide from Wilkins as well.
Yeah, just slightly over onto that rumble strip.
Still a top three battle. The Alpha's still there in fourth and fifth.
Yeah, the two Alphas, Gary Broadbent and Mike Hurd, closing the gap now. They may be in this battle as well.
Again.
Oh, and that's I was thinking a little bit of contact there.
Bit of a love tap, I might call that one. Just making sure away he's there.
It's like we were saying, if you hit our apex, it's very difficult to get past. And that's exactly what Smith did there. He just covered the apex, made sure Max couldn't get underneath him, and that has worked very well. Wide! And he's going to have to slow. The track limits means he's going to have to slow down, and then he does.
Oh, such a shame.
Hurd goes past. That's my mistake. That's Marnix in the Alpha, the white and green Alpha. But we're with Smith. And this is the final lap now.
Just got to hold it together. Through the chicanes, holding the inside line this time. Not going as... Oh no, he is.
Not quite as wide as we have seen, but not far off.
It's only the top two now. Wilkins, the only guy who really has a chance here.
Yeah, Hurd, I think, is too far back. Well, we'll see. What can Wilkins do?
Shaun defending again into that corner. Every single corner he's been on the inside line. It's going to be a brave move now into the slower stuff for Wilkins.
I think you never know. He could pull that off, though. He's certainly a quality enough driver to be doing that. It's more if Shaun gives him the opportunity as a bit of a lock-up.
It's gone slightly wide. Millimetres between them.
Gets on the apex, though, covering that inside.
Come on, camera. Oh,
into the hairpins. And he's just wide, lock-up.
The Alpha's coming. The Alpha's coming.
Hurd with him now. into the last corner. The inside line is with Smith. He pushes Wilkins slightly wide and then up the straight. It's going to be Smith. Shaun Smith.
3 seconds.
Shaun Smith takes the win. And he crashes in celebration.
And Alistair helps him. Or is that an Alpha? Never mind.
Hurd collecting him there.
Oh, here comes out.
There's Alistair giving his mate a congratulatory bump.
Crash. Of course, that was nothing to do with qualifying, but
of course not.
Right. But there you go, victory for Shaun Smith.
And Shaun now, I think we're going to see him attempt his celebration here, but he's just doing some off-roading.
Yeah, I think it's quite difficult to do donuts in a front-wheel drive car.
Yeah. Well, I think you should take a leaf out of Jack Wilkins' book and do some reverse donuts next time. Works a lot better.
So there we go, everyone. That was this month in Motorsport, our special edition.
Yep. Thank you to CSR for letting us take part, and that was very good fun. Thank you very much, and hopefully, if you enjoyed this, we'll do another one of these maybe. But yeah. Thank you to Shaun for coming along, helping us out.
You're welcome.
And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Take care and goodbye.
Goodbye.